Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and what I like to do on this channel is give my thoughts and opinions on trending news around the globe. So I'd appreciate it if you would smash that like button, hit me with a subscription, and let's get on with some of these headlines. So lately, this alien topic and UAPs and UFOs, whatever you want to call it, right now, has been pretty headline heavy lately. There's been a lot of raises in sightings. A lot of people been tripping out, a lot of been crazy. A lot of whistleblowers have been coming out, showing some exposable things. And that's what I'm going to show today. I found a nice, interesting movie clip, and I'm going to talk about some of these things here when it comes to this alien topic. It was a little fun last time, and I kind of got some more info, and I thought I would share some more things. So away we go. Like I said, sightings and encounters have been on the rise. People have been coming out with more and more stories and more footage and more alleged encounters with alleged beings from another planet or another dimension nowadays. Now they're talking interdimensional. Now we're going to things where they're talking like interdimensional. They're also saying things that are kind of crazy, kind of crazy sometimes when you think about it, because the way they describe some of the species that they're supposed or allegedly communicating with. I mean, this stuff is getting kind of wild. It's getting next level, if you ask me. It's getting Men in Blackish. Like, it's starting to sound like we're in a Men in Black movie. It's kind of interesting. So I got this movie clip, and we'll take a look at this real quick.
You can go from the East Coast to the West Coast underground.
Underground, completely underground.
Without having to
come up. And there's turnoffs. You need security clearances to get through these turnoffs. They go into other bases. They go into other areas and, secret places you can't go.
And what do they do there?
They do a lot of things. I can tell you one thing. They have 2 sets of elevators. And my security clearance got me down to the main hub, which is as big as Manhattan. I mean, it's as big as Manhattan. It's unbelievable. They have acres of farmland with lights and
farmland underground.
Underground. They run the lights up nuclear.
Underground.
Yeah, they have nuclear power plant underground. Yeah, they have everything. They have bench shafts. They have everything. But the 2 sets of elevators I was telling you about, my clearance, I can only go down to the main hub. Then there was another set of elevators that brought you down further. And a bunch of friends of mine would tell me stories about that.
Can you tell us anything about those stories?
Yeah, I can tell you what they told me. What they told me is there's actual aliens, greys.
Wait.
Aliens.
What was the word, greys?
Greys. And also there's another kind. There's different species that they talk about. There's greys, there's reptilians, all different kinds.
A gray is a type of alien.
Right. It's not really an alien. It's a drone. It's not really it's like an organic drone. That's exactly what it is.
What does that mean, an organic drone?
It's not a living thing. It's in living tissue.
So he claims, first of all, that's a lot. That's a lot in a little bit of time. Like, if this is true, this could be alleged. This is an alleged whistleblower. I'm not sure if this is true or not. But, I mean, there's underground cities that you can travel from coast to coast, from East Coast to West Coast, north-south borders, underground. Cities. That's interesting. Especially when you hear a certain person under case and they talk about underground tunnels that go to different other people's homes and places and other destinations and whatnot. It's very interesting because this person even said, you got certain clearances to certain roads. Like certain roads, there's forks in the roads, and you can't go to certain roads unless you have clearances and elevators. That's very, 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 very wild. If this is true, this is another thing that, maybe our government could be. Would something like this be considered wasted funding? In your opinion out there, I would like to know in the comments, like, if we found out, like, there was this underground facility, I mean, with underground farms, like, farms and, like, livestock, they said there's, like, farms and livestock. That's crazy. But, I mean, if there was, and this come out to be, like, this is true, this is legit, right? Would this be considered, in your opinion, wasteful spending? Or would this be something you think, maybe we need this? What if something happens on the surface and there's something going on here? The only problem people would probably have with this situation would be like the list of people allowed to go there when the shit goes down. I would agree with that myself. I would be like, hey man, if I'm on the list, I'm with it, you know. But you know, it's really interesting if this stuff is real. Like, I mean, how much money would it cost to build an underground cities, or literally the United States underground? Because they say you can travel from coast to coast, and that's interesting. That's very creepy. And then he describes the Greys and the other different species. And he seems like he tries to brush them all off, like at the end, because I don't know if he was running out of time. That's where I kind of wonder where like the validity of this comes in. And but he says an interesting thing about what everybody says about the Greys. Like when people encounter these gray aliens a lot, he says that they're organic. They're not living, but it's like organic living tissue. But they're like a drone, like some sort of like a AI drone of some sort, with tissue on them and things. And that's what he said the Greys are. That's pretty creepy. What are the Greys, like who are the Greys controllers? Like, is it the reptilians or the ones that they say look like the praying mantis? I think there's another one that looks like an ant. I think that they call them insectoids. I don't know if that's the same as the praying mantis one. But there's like so many different species that you see. And there was a book back in the day, I think it was like, I don't know if it was Russian or anything like that, but that book had like over 70 species, and it had like their descriptions, it had like their old bios, like their old bios and everything on them, like what they ate and like how many times they visited Earth and like how often they're here and like what minerals and resources they like from our planet. And it's kind of wild because in that same that breakdown of the book, that's what one of the main things that happens here is this planet has some plentiful, bountiful resources that might not be available on other planets that have some kind of effect or compound or power or super high value to them and their planet that we have no idea. It could just be regular old like wheat, you know, or something like, but over there it could be some powerful element, you know what I mean? And so that's what they could be doing here with all these species coming here. It's interesting when you dig down on the things, but also I wonder how much it all costs. Like how much is like, this could be a bulk of like where all our money could be going, you know? This could be interesting. And this would be something that I would want to know. And probably everybody out there, like how much is this stuff costing, you know, and it just to avoid getting probed, because according to some of them, you know, according to some of them stories, you agreed to let us get probed, you know, so you guys can keep getting all this, you know, knowledge and power, you know. But what is next for the future if aliens are the normal thing? Like where everybody like, because right now aliens are probably mad. Like they're probably mad because they're not getting all the like thunder. You know, they're kind of losing some of the thunder, I think, to like the Diddy stuff and like Doge, you know, finding like all this money being wasted, you know, things like that. And planes breaking. And so they're probably all mad. Like, you know, finally they're probably like, at least the fires are done, you know, for now. You know, and crazy things like that, because I think they were losing a lot of thunder and getting mad. So I think that's why they increased all the UFO sightings. Like, I think they were just like, hey man, we need to step this shit up, you know. Some of the guys were like, turn down for what? You know, and so they all started coming out like crazy. They're coming out in droves now. Now you can see more and more, you know. And it's kind of exciting at the same time, or scary. Like these guys are starting to pump their chest a little bit. And I don't know, because if they're super advanced like they say, you know, they're still arrogant like we are, so they're probably learning our ways. They're probably around us too much now. It's kind of messing them up. It's probably fucking their whole culture up. That's probably why they got to stay around here more. Some of the ones here, I think, aren't allowed to go back home, you know. Like, I think they got in troubles over here, and so they got to, you know, they feel like they got more power this way. Some of them. Just some of them, not all of them. I'm just saying some of them. Some of them. And we got to keep an eye on some of them, because they're probably the most convincing ones. They're probably the most tricky ones. Are the ones that got in trouble at their home planet. And they're probably the ones over here playing with our people of power. We got to keep an eye on these. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time, see ya.